Hey guys, welcome to Unknown And
Uncloned.
part of the Undetermined podcast network.
Yes, and you can find links for the Undetermined on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the UD Network.
Indeed. So, first off, I'm rich, but who am I? Life's questions. I like to write, play video games, cook food.
Yeah.
Julian.
I like to write, sing, and eat food.
Perfect match. Yeah. And we've been friends for years now. We actually have another podcast about poetry called The Poet's Corner.
Yes. So this is like a transformation of that concept and idea. But this time, it's not only about poetry, it's about all art forms.
Exactly. You know, one of our taglines is, we dissect the arts, one pop culture craze at a time.
Yes. Now, what does that mean? The things you know and love, music, TV, film, reading, we're going to dive into all of that and actually kind of analyze the pieces that you may not know about.
We go through different topics. Today's episode, for example, is going to be about immortality.
Yes, living forever. What exactly is, the basis upon this idea? I mean, we've seen it in many different art forms, but we can go deeper than that.
Yeah. And why? Why does our culture love that idea? I mean, of course it's awesome, but you know what? It goes deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to start digging.
So our first piece that we're going to look at that is trying or attempts to define immortality in its own way.
You've definitely heard it before. Forever young. I want to, oh gosh, that voice. Julian, can you sing a bit of it?
Forever young, I want to be forever young. I'm sure you've all heard that song before.
Wow.
I hope, because it's a great song.
Snaps for that.
Continuing the snap tradition.
Yeah.
But this song, it captures the concept of immortality, but maybe not in the way that you're used to it being portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of branches out, and it has a more upbeat tone.
Definitely.
But the concept of living forever, what exactly is that concept, and what are the values and aspects that surround it?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to be young forever? As a matter of fact, that may be closer to possibility than you guys may think.
Yeah, and this is something that I was like, wow, when I found this out. I'm like, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, tell him, Rich.
Well, you know what? If any of you guys get a chance to go to Scottsdale, Arizona, you might just find this company where you can get a chance at immortality for only $200,000.
Oh, man. I never thought that they would actually try and put immortality at a price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're definitely asking yourself, what the hell are these guys talking about? Well, simple. This company will cryogenically freeze you and will awake you at another point in the future.
Something I've never understood, though, is that if you're freezing your body,
your
vitals will stop. But it's or at least that's what. But they may be trying to figure out a way around it. We don't know exactly how this process is going to be.
Actually, yeah. I'm reading this article right now. The thing is, they keep it in liquid nitrogen. So the thing is, the science behind cryonics is this. It's like keeping everything frozen so that it's in a suspended state,
Right.
So that everything doesn't exactly stop working. It just kind of pauses.
You think, is that more fearful, though? Do you think that can have more complications? Because we've never seen this at least yet in action yet.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know if this would be the type of information to be disclosed or not.
Imagine. I mean, how would you guys react if you heard that one day somebody, who knows, some random person from 1970 whose body was frozen just woke up now and they're perfectly healthy, perfectly fine, and they're experiencing this new world? I mean, would you be scared? Would you be jealous? What?
I've read the same thing about monks who were found in like a meditative state, but some were claiming that they were still alive after like hundreds of years. But if you saw the pictures, you would see that their physical state does not imply that at all.
Oh.
So that's another thing. I'm comparing it to that in a way, because I'm thinking like, is it gonna be the same thing? Are we gonna look the same, or our skin's gonna be preserved? Like, never know.
I don't know.
But it's interesting that this is happening now.
Yeah, yeah. And this company is called Alcor. That's ALCOR. So if any of you guys just happen to have $200,000 lying around and you don't want to be in 2017, maybe you'd rather be in 2098.
2098.
Hit these guys up. But seriously though, we have some other options for not exactly living forever, but like living longer.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've heard of stuff like the Mediterranean diet, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You see, after tons of culinary research, apparently the Greek diet is one of the best. And the thing is, it's not just for like, oh, you want to lose weight? Nah. There's also an emphasis on decreasing your risk for diseases, and even depression.
Right.
So how exactly do you start that diet? Well, if you guys are interested, hey, you can always do it in a small way. Fruits, veggies, getting those greens like your mom always told you.
You start off small. You need those in your system.
And of course, there's healthy fats. Because trust me, we do need fats.
To a degree, yes, we do.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to go into this too heavily. I do have some siblings. I do have a sibling and a cousin who are personal trainers. So anybody who wants nutrition advice, message me after. Free consultation.
Yes.
But
here to help.
Yeah, great fats like from stuff like avocados, peanuts, olives, all that kind.
All that can help sustain life.
Apparently, man. Veggies, come on, who doesn't love their veggies? I mean, well, a lot may not, but you can always customize it. There's all that. And the list goes on, et cetera, et cetera. There's like specific recommendations.
Right.
Have this many servings of fruit per day or whatnot. The Mediterranean diet. So that's living forever in a realistic sense.
Right.
But how do we try to live forever, like through the arts, through what we give the world?
Which is, I think, one of the most important things that art can offer is sustainability.
Exactly.
And legacy.
Yeah, man. Like I may not be around forever. Hey, I could only live for another 10 years, for example. But my work, the things I've created online, things that I've written, those are gonna outlast me, man.
Oh yeah.
And in
that
a way,
energy will stick.
Exactly. And in a way, that is immortality, just in a different form.
Right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because your energy will always be around, and you will always inspire through the work that you do.
Yeah. And you know what? This is where the arts parts come in. The arts parts.
The arts parts.
Wow.
Sounds like a sitcom. And now on the next episode of the arts part.
Yeah, right. So you know what? Poetry. Yeah, I've got a good background in that. So I figured, why not find some poems that talk about that talk about this desire to want to live forever, to not want to kick the bucket, damn it, to stick around.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I mean, quick aside, I used to, like when I was younger, I used to think, man, I really wish I could live until a day where we have like virtual reality. Maybe I'll freeze myself, blah, blah, blah. But now we have it in our
Hey,
lifetime.
man. Now we have virtual reality and things. I mean, I feel like people now are going to be just using their phones and whatever instead of actually traveling and going to the places.
Yeah, I feel you. You're saving money on it. But
Oh, I'm saving a lot of money, but hey,
but still,
nothing beats seeing the world with your own eyes.
Amen, man. So, this particular Indian poet, his name is Sri Aurobindo.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this one poem simply called Immortality.
Yes.
I have drunk deep of God's own liberty, from which an occult sovereignty derives, hidden in an earthly garment that survives. I am the worldless being vast and free, a moment stamped with that supremacy, has rescued me from cosmic hooks and gives, abolishing death and time, my nature lives in the deep heart of immortality. God's contract signed with ignorance is torn. Time has become the eternal's endless tear. My soul's wide self of loving infinite space outlines its body, luminous and unborn. Behind the earth robe, under the earth mask grows clear, the mold of an imperishable face.
Wow.
He's got some, that vocabulary is on another level. Good job, man.
Yes.
I'm snapping for that. And, the thing is with poetry is sometimes they go into, well, a lot of the times, they go into like the realm of the abstract in terms of
Oh, yeah.
talking about things, but you can understand his message. He's talking about how he's lived on this earth, but really he feels like his soul is immortal. His soul is going to last
Yes.
forever.
Which I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the body is only housing
A vessel.
the end. Yes.
Yeah. And we do pay rent. We
Mm.
do pay rent.
I've never heard that analogy to it before. That's clever. I like.
It's true, man.
No, definitely.
All the maintenance and all the doctor's visits,
Oh,
all essential.
You're constructing
Mm-hmm.
a stable house for that energy.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? We also have another poem
Yes.
by
Emily Dickinson.
the famous, the legendary, the one and only. And it's called Because I Could Not Stop for Death.
Here it goes. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had to put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children played, their lessons scarcely done. We passed the fields of gazing grain, we passed the settling sun. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then 'tis centuries, but each feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity.
Wow.
Mm.
Because I could not stop for death. I feel that. I mean,
It's so real because, there's thoughts too that I'm just like, I'm just in the mindset to live every day like it's my last and live it to the fullest potential that it can possibly be reached, because it's for people it's a back thought sometimes, and you got to put in all your effort that you possibly can. But that line, he kindly stopped for me, like no.
For real, man. And you know what that brings to mind for me? Saying because I could not stop. I think that implies that, like, she's so engrossed. She's so engrossed in her passions and what she's pursuing. It's like she literally feels like, listen, I'm not done.
Yes.
This life is not done with me. I still have more to create, more to write, more love to give, etc., etc.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. That her job is not done until she says it's done.
Exactly. Like she's literally like, listen, she's not letting
you're
herself
trying to
die.
command me, but I'm gonna command you.
Yeah.
And I am not done. I have not fulfilled all of my purposes yet.
Yeah, man. It's really important to have that sense of purpose.
Yes, I agree.
Even if it's something that's simple, you know? I mean, because sometimes I feel like I have these deep discussions with people and they're like, well, what's your purpose in life, man?
Well, I feel like I have deep discussions with myself
Absolutely.
about that same thing.
But I think that you don't need to have some grand plan of like, you know what, I'm going to create a charity and do this. I mean, yeah, that's an amazing goal.
Yes.
But a purpose in life can simply be wanting to live to the next day, wanting to
make someone else happy.
Exactly.
Wanting to find one hobby that you enjoy, that you can keep doing.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. You don't have to have a grand scheme or a way to plot out your life. Yeah. All you need to do is make that first step and make smaller goals towards your grander goal.
Exactly.
And trust me, life becomes a lot easier if you think like that rather than trying to go for the big one right at the bat.
Yeah, man, for real. And remember, guys, for those of you just tuning in, this is Unknown and Uncloned,
part of the Undetermined podcast network, and you can find Unknown and Uncloned at UAU Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and also the Grander Brand, the UD Network on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
The Grander Brand, I like that.
Yeah, sounds like a rhyme, right? You're the Grander Brand, you know.
Freestyle. Oh, trust me, we probably will have a rap episode.
Oh yeah, most likely.
But speaking of immortality. Okay, we covered a popular song, we read some poetry, but there's more to art than that.
Yeah.
What about actual paintings? Well, got you covered. Now, I know some people are going to get skeptical at this point. Well, you know, it's a podcast. Like, what does art have to... No, listen. We will link that art. You will see
what we're talking about.
You will see those beautiful images. And right now, we're going to describe it for you in such vivid detail, you won't even need the screen. So, I've got this one picture I'm looking at called Immortality of Time. And it's by Mylene Hertug. That's MileneHertug.
Amazing artist.
Yeah, just from this one picture. And I'm going to describe it to you. So, there's a pocket watch. One.
In a world.
In a world where a pocket watch. Okay, no. Listen. There's a pocket watch, and it's hanging from a chain. And the chain itself has wind breezing through it. And you can actually see like the strokes of the breezes. And the clock itself, the glass, is breaking. And this whole thing, it looks like a giant pocket watch that is falling toward the skyline of a city.
Yeah.
Now, what exactly does it mean when a giant...
How can this be interpreted?
Yeah. Now, you may be asking yourself, what a giant pocket watch that's like half breaking, falling toward a city. What is that even?
Yeah,
okay.
I can see someone who's listening right now. Oh, just get her to watch. No, this is not about the watch. This is mostly about the city and what the watch represents for the city.
Exactly. Now, one thing I love about art, so many ways to interpret. The first thing that caught my eye was, I think it could reflect the idea of time catching up with us, you know?
Yes.
And it could be what we're doing to the climate. It could be if a city is destroying itself with certain policies. Maybe its economy is failing.
Right.
It could be the time. It's time for your time. It could be that time is up.
The time is up. But another way it can be, well, another layer to that is that time can be up for a certain phase.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the ultimate time is up, but maybe for like a temporary time is up for what you were used to. And now it's time to like reinvent yourself. There's a couple ways you can interpret that.
Yeah. It could also be that like the impact of time that's yet to come. Like the thing is, this pocket watch is at a tilt. It's falling toward.
Right.
So maybe it could represent not necessarily time's gonna catch up, but like foreshadowing the times ahead.
I didn't think of.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. 'Cause
foreshadowing times ahead. Huh.
And who knows, man? I mean, obviously, with the way life is now, people are nervous about the political climate and certain situations. But time is one thing that no single person can control, and we have the freedom to make time our own.
I mean, at the end of the day, time doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait, man.
I guess it doesn't.
I think that's the absolute visual proof. Time does not wait. No matter what you do, how comfortable you are, or how happy you are, or how sad you are, time will not wait for anything. And whatever is going to happen will happen.
Exactly. All we need to do is be ready for it, but trust me, it's always possible, you know? No matter what times are ahead, you have the ability to make your skin thicker than titanium.
Yes.
And survive it.
That's another thing that I want to get across. No situation in life is one that you cannot handle. Every situation that we go through is meant to make us stronger, whether you are subject to the situation or not. You will be stronger than that situation. And you have the ability to make yourself stronger, like Rich said, and, you know, really thicken your skin and train your mind to be conditioned to get through it.
And another thing that this picture brings to mind is that, like, there's unpredictability, man. Like, we try our best to plan things.
Yeah.
But hey, when something just erupts or evolves, don't just get back into your turtle shell, guys.
No. One of the things that, and I still have trouble with this. I mean, I feel like a lot of us do, but it's accepting the situation for what it is, even if things do not go the way you have planned them. Because there'll be a lot of times where you plan something specific and something else gets in the way. It always happens. But I think the strength lies in everybody not to succumb to, you know, the sadness revolving something not going your way, but the strength to get around it and readjust your plan. Yeah,
man. But you know what? Enough motivational talk. I'm not exactly a guru. I'm just a podcast host. So, you know what?
That should be the new tagline. You're not gurus, guys. We're just podcast hosts.
Yeah. But another way that we've seen the idea of immortality reflected in films. And the list of movies in which there's a character who lives a long time, maybe forever, maybe invulnerable, that's endless. I'm just going to highlight a particular one, the movie Selfless. That's self dash less. And that's the movie with Ryan Reynolds, also with Ben Kingsley, I believe.
I've actually still have not seen that. I have to.
It's pretty good, man. The best thing about it is this concept. And here's what it is. Like, okay, say you're some dude, you're 75, and you're like, oh man, you know what? The Reaper's coming for me soon. I wish I could change my circumstances.
Right.
Well, there's some shady organization you could go to that will literally take your brain, put it in the body of a younger person, and you will live out your days as long as their vessel will last.
There's so many moral discussions that can be brought up because of that too. Is it right to do that? Or like what will happen to the younger person's brain?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean like those details I'm not going to spoil for you guys. But but the thing is, it's like, imagine being faced with that option, you know what I mean?
Interesting concept though.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean
it definitely is a different take on immortality. You're literally, the more your time is running out, you're choosing someone else's. In essence.
Yeah. And it's essentially like your life is lasting as long as your money does, because you're paying for this thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh man.
And it's just like,
in that case, I guess money would bring happiness.
Yeah. And you know what? One quick aside.
Mm-hmm.
It does bother me when people say that money doesn't bring happiness, because yes, it does not bring genuine happiness, but it brings you the circumstances for happiness.
Yes, the money itself does not bring you happiness, but what you use with the money, which
exactly.
It would be hard to achieve without money, does bring you happiness. You know, I understand, because I'm like, I mean, technically it does.
Yeah, I mean, money builds the bridge. You walk it, boom, happiness can be on the other side.
Right.
But the thing is with this movie, it follows the adventures of one particular man who's decided to do this. And like, now, I'm not spoiling anything by saying this because this isn't a trailer, but it's like, this particular case, the body he's in, it's getting all these difficulties. He's starting to get like flashbacks to his former life. And then conflict ensues.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes me think that somebody with enough money and resources would invest in that idea. Who knows if in 10 years, if selfless actually becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, dude.
Look, man, with freezing bodies in place in an attempt to access immortality.
Yeah.
Something like this, it could just be another experiment.
Who knows?
Because one thing that humans are adept at is curiosity.
Definitely. Definitely. So we've gone through these different forms of expression. Immortality in the song we've referenced, in poems, in art, in a movie. But why are we so obsessed with it?
Yeah, what is it about it that intrigues us?
Yeah. I think it's many things. I think that part of it is a lot of us can't deal with the fear of death, you know? Those endings are difficult. And of course, immortality is just endless opportunities, endless chances.
Yes.
It's just like, it's almost like a solution to unhappiness. It's like, you know what? Well,
wow.
It's like, you know what? I don't like my circumstances now, but I will have time to change it again and again and again.
And again. Well, but something I wonder, well, endless resets also.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, one thing doesn't work out, try again. But do you think that life in itself, this is going to be a deep question, would lose its value?
Oh man, it's getting deep. My brain,
my brain hurt. No, because I feel like, you know, in a sense, immortality would definitely offer a more expansive memory and a lot more knowledge about what the time to learn new things and you know,
and do whatever you want.
Take into more perspectives, do whatever you want. However, I think that there's a certain beauty to knowing that you have limited duration to live, but knowing that you don't take this life for granted. Because if people had the option to be immortal, then I think a lot of the things we would not care about. And then we try to be more bold with ideas like start abusing the rules more often because nothing's going to happen to us, you know?
Consequences then become different.
Yeah.
If you live forever. And you're right. The value in life, part of it is because it's short. I mean, if you're going to live until you're 300, just as an example, that's gonna make certain things like a vacation less valuable because you're just like, oh, well, I can just go for a vacation again and another time, you know? Oh, I can just do this thing again and again.
And I think the amount of laziness would rise. rise like the Dark Knight, man. It would rise.
Yeah.
Because, like
people won't have that drive, you know? It's like, okay, I'm only going to have this much time. I'm going to try to do this, make this happen, and whatever. But if you know you have forever, you're just like, I guess I can wait another 100 years. I don't need to change lives right now.
I don't need to change lives, including mine. You know, I'm good. I'm good at sitting here eating my ramen, you know.
That ramen, though.
Mad sodium, though.
Yeah. That's another thing, too. Like, we wouldn't take care of ourselves.
Oh, no.
Because, you know, with sodium and high blood pressure is going to lead to... But if you're going to live forever... So
try every fast food chain that you can get. I mean, why not? Because you're immortal.
Dude, I mean, I'm telling you, dude, if I could live forever and like my health would stay the same, all that kind of stuff, like that's a stretch, you know?
Right.
Like immortality is already a stretch enough. I'm taking it a step further, but if my health would stay ideal and stuff like that, maybe if I was a super soldier like Captain America or I had abilities, I'm telling you, man, it would be Taco Bell for breakfast, Wendy's for lunch,
and Chinese food for dinner.
Yeah,
or pizza
why not?
Or something.
Yeah, pizza for dinner, actually. Pizza for dinner. And then for late night supper, Taco Bell again.
Yeah, because it's open like all hours at night. But if I could just interject for a second.
Of course.
The whole talk of immortality would completely change its perspective if you were the only one who could be immortal and not everybody else.
Whoa.
Because if everyone is immortal, everyone is just does whatever. I still think some people would still be would do bad things because that's just human nature. But if you were the only one who could be immortal, that would change everything. Maybe you wouldn't want to be immortal at that point.
Exactly, because, you know, and I've seen this kind of idea played out in shows. It's like characters will live forever, you know, they outlive their friends and family, and it's just like, oh, well, what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
And they'll raise certain questions like, oh, well, what's the use of all this time if you don't have anybody to spend it with?
Yes.
And again, it's like, oh gosh, getting deep here.
Always, man.
It's like not only does immortality give us the opportunity to escape death, which gives us endless anxiety and questions, but it also gives us the opportunity to truly, truly live out that epic fantasy of love, of loving somebody forever. What if you actually could love somebody,
Wow.
love one person forever, dedicating the rest of your existence,
Literally.
decades, centuries?
Millennia?
I think that would make love even more difficult. I think some people would
And
be
stale.
Yeah,
You
because I really think a lot of people would back out of that. Because if you know that you can live 100 years,
Yeah.
I feel like some people would assume, well, I might get bored of this person after 150. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. If you could literally love someone forever physically, then how do you really know if you would stay loyal or not?
Or would that spark last? Okay, you know what? I have a question for all of you listeners, all of our 12 listeners who have someone in their lives that they truly love. If any of you are engaged to somebody or have a significant other that you really feel like you could love for the rest of your life, do you think you could love them for eternity? I mean, could you? That's deep love, man.
Yeah.
You need to love somebody more than the air you breathe.
Yeah, listen, flaws and all. Flaws and all, because
do you really think, is it even possible to find, well, man.
It's possible in this life that we live now.
Yeah.
But bringing immortality into the question, that literally changes everything. And we would still have our emotions and feelings. So how do you know you wouldn't be bored?
Or fall out of love.
Or fall out of, yes.
That's the thing, man. Love is just one of those things where it's hard to define it. But before I start getting into love, I just want everybody to keep in mind that, yes, we are an advanced society. We do have technology. We do have the technology that could put immortality in our grasp, but don't necessarily hold on to that idea.
Right.
Like, live your life as it is now and just plan to make every day and any moment possible feel like it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. This connects to what the true meaning of life is.
Oh.
And I think that the true meaning of life, part of it has to deal with knowing that the way you look, the way you are, your family, your environment, it's really all you have no control of any of it. And figuring out who you are through that all and wanting to make a difference in your own skin is the strongest thing.
I agree, man. That's just what it comes down to. That is indeed. But you know what? I think we've reached the end of our immortal discussion. Ironically.
Or is it the end?
Or is it the end?
Yeah, no.
Nah, this is the kind of conversation I'm going to keep having with myself, always thinking about what I do with immortality.
I mean, if you guys want this episode to go on forever, just loop the episode when you listen to it.
Exactly. Hopefully you think we're good enough to be looped. Please.
Yes.
I hope you do.
Please.
But you know what? We really thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you guys.
And hopefully you like what you heard, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you want more. You can let us know.
Yes.
Find us on Twitter at UAU Podcast.
Yes.
Find us on Facebook.
Find us on Instagram. And also, the grander brand, The Undetermined, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the UD Network. One word.
Indeed. So, I'm Rich.
And I'm Julian. And this has been Unknown and Uncloned, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. See you guys on the next one.
Peace out, guys. Thanks again, and always keep exploring.
us.